Hello everyone, hello. So welcome. Today or in this video, we're going to talk about the midterm test or exam preparation for the writing section of the Cambridge English Empower B2 First Edition. Okay, so this video is just going to be a guide. Okay, remember that we're not really doing any writing practice itself. So I do suggest that if you are preparing for the test, I do suggest that you practice a lot, keep writing, and get feedback on that. We have AI models nowadays where you just give your writing and they can provide really, really good feedback to you. Okay, but yeah, let this video just be a guide on a general, guide on what to do and what not to do. Okay, so let's begin. Um, Organizing an article. How is it done? Let's talk. Organizing an article, guys, involves structuring your ideas logically to ensure clarity and coherence. So organize it well uh, with your ideas in a logical way. Okay. Well, how do you do that? It's easier said than done, right? So let's talk about that one as well. Start with an engaging introduction that captures the reader's attention. Write something that can get, people's attention and not let them continue to another article. Keep them in your article. Followed by the main body, where you present your arguments or information in a clear and organized manner. So use paragraphs as well to separate different points and ensure each paragraph has a clear topic sentence. Many people think that they just writing. They write 500 words, and there is no clear separation between the ideas and paragraphs. That doesn't work. That is very, very bad, and the person reading it will have a hard time understanding and will therefore not continue reading it. So it's better to separate your paragraphs and ideas using clear writing format, formatting skills, let's say, where you indent or whatever you do, just separate paragraphs. Okay. And finally, conclude with a summary that reinforces your main points and leaves a lasting impression on the reader. Okay, so moving on, organizing guidelines in a leaflet. So, how do you do that? Creating a well organized leaflet, guys, involves clear and concise communication. Because what's the point of a leaflet? The point of a leaflet is basically to share guidelines that you have written to other people. Maybe it's a survival leaflet, telling people how to survive if they're lost in the jungle, for example. Whatever it is, right? The point is clear and concise communication. So, what do you do? Start with a compelling headline that grabs attention. Use bullet points or short paragraphs to present information in an easily digestible format. Include relevant images or graphics to enhance visual appeal and support your message. This one doesn't really um, have any place, unfortunately, for most of the examination circumstances, because you're not allowed to put any images there. You're just writing. But if you're doing it outside an examination room where you are writing leaflets actually for a job or whatever, right? It's good to include relevant images and graphics. They can really help make your, let's say, content more interesting. Mm-hmm. So, okay, and also ensure the layout is clean and uncluttered with a logical flow from one section to the next. And at the end, finally, include a call to action or contact information to guide readers on what to do next. So, normally, in leaflets, maybe you have something to share at the end, right? Maybe you want people to join a movement. So, include your call to action. Without doing that, people won't know what action to take. If you want them to take an action, include a call to action. It can help 100%. So, let's continue. What about describing data? How is that one done? Writing a description of data, guys, involves interpreting and summarizing information from charts or diagrams. Now, start by identifying the key elements in the data or data, whatever you have. If it's a diagram, if the data is presented in a chart, it doesn't matter. Start by identifying the key elements, such as titles. If it has a title, so identify it first. Okay, so if it has labels, identify them. If it has units of measurement, again, identify them, because you need to know what you're describing before you start describing it. And then, inside your writing, what do? You describe the overall trend, the pattern observed in the data. Okay, and also you have to highlight. Okay, you have to what? You have to highlight any significant points or anomalies that may have occurred in the data. So of course, significant points is basically just mentioning the important points of the diagram. It could be like a rise, a very sudden, decline or whatever. hmm And for the anomalies, for example, these are things that are normally unexpected, and they happen in a very unexpected way. For example, let's say a company is doing very well. It's like going very, the business is going very well, and then suddenly, in just one point, in 1 month, for example, or in one day, all their stocks crash. Something happens. That's an anomaly, right? So you're going to need to highlight those things in your writing. Okay. So also use clear and concise, and of course precise language to convey your observations, and ensure that your description is relevant to the context of the data. Practice makes perfect. So this is something that we mentioned at the beginning as well. Remember to analyze different types of charts and diagrams to improve your skills. Okay, if you don't do that, it's not going to help. So I do suggest describing different sorts of data or data from the different types of charts and diagrams we have available on the internet for free. So use them. It's really good. Okay. So, email to apply for work or and giving a positive impression. How to do that? So this is kind of an easy one, but let's talk. Writing an email to apply for work requires a professional tone and a positive impression. Start with a clear subject line that indicates the purpose of your email. Normally, of course, this is different. In some submission guidelines, they do mention that you need to have this specific wording or this specific phrase in the email subject line, but for the test day, normally we don't do that. We just say that, write an email. So for that, you can choose a subject line for your own email. Address the recipient politely and introduce yourself briefly. Highlight your relevant skills and experiences and explain why you are interested in the position. Attach your resume and any other required documents. Of course, once again, you're not really attaching it on the exam day, but you can write that my email, that my resume or CV is attached. It adds to that real life scenario feeling. It's really good. And you can also close the email with a polite sign off expressing your enthusiasm for the opportunity and your willingness to provide further information if needed. Okay, so let's move on. Yeah, and the next one, or technically the last one, is opinion essay and writing arguments for and against an idea. So, an opinion essay presents a clear stance on a topic and supports it with arguments. Start with an introduction that states your opinion and provides some background information. In the body paragraphs, present arguments for your opinion using evidence and examples to support each point. Then address counter arguments by acknowledging opposing views and refuting them with logical reasoning. Conclude by summarizing your main points and reinforcing your stance. Remember to maintain a balanced and respectful tone throughout the essay. Now, this is a very good piece of information about opinion essays in general. Your book may have taken a different stance on this. Your book says that, for example, you don't need to mention your idea in the first introduction, paragraph. You can put it at the end. Your book also says that you don't need to choose one side. You need to provide arguments for and against the idea at the same time. So, in one paragraph, you're supporting it, in the other paragraph, you're acknowledging the counter arguments by not refuting them, but by just mentioning some of their points. And at the very end, in the conclusion paragraph, you can mention your opinion as well. So, both of these two techniques are good. It doesn't matter which one you use for the test day or for the exam day, just use one that feels better and more natural for you. Okay, it's going to be good. Just remember, good grammar, good vocabulary, and just logical formation of an essay is important. Okay, and thank you. We are done, everyone. Thank you very much for watching this little video. I hope this has prepared you for your exam, or if you're just learning, I hope you've learned something. Goodbye.